The internet is reshaping human cognition, shifting us from deep, focused thinking to fast and fragmented mental processing. Unlike the linear thinking process that was fostered by books, the internet hypermedia aspects make us multitask and scan through information, and this exposure to addictive stimuli alters our brain neural pathways, losing our ability to deep read. As a result, cognitive overload occurs, meaning that our working memory becomes overstimulated with too much information, making it difficult to transfer knowledge to the long term memory. This shift decreases our ability to concentrate, to analyze, and to retain information, ultimately transforming individuals' brains and the society as a whole.
This text is based on the Toronto School and in its ideas that the influence of a medium, here the internet, is intrinsic to its technological nature, not to its content. So the internet as a deforming influence, it is a light media that favors the circulation of information over the space rather than the durable concentration of knowledge both for individuals and society. It has a prejudice, it conditions the system of thoughts developed in our civilization. As a consequence, as McLuhan would say, the internet is a message and the message is the human being because it is responsible for the characteristics of a culture, the people's worldviews, and the psychoperceptive culture we tend to think as laptop processors. For example, as Weber predicted, the formal rationality of scanning is becoming an end rather than a mean to cultivate knowledge. Being a cool media, the internet favors our participation and engage with three senses simultaneously. It is thus an extension of our senses, memory, browsing capacities, and a self-imputation of concentration, creativity, and more. It creates a new equilibrium of the senses and a retribalization stage with integral, non-linear, simultaneous forms of knowledge.
Think about scrolling on TikTok. Each video is about 30 seconds to maybe a minute long, so it's quick, engaging, and constantly changing between different topics. It's a funny dance, a life hack, or breaking news. It's all switching within just a few seconds, and this fast pace keeps your attention, but it also trains your brain to expect the constant stimulation rather than long form content. So compared to movies, many of us like to watch it at 1.5 speed because it's too slow, too long for our brains to handle, and we get distracted. We look at our phone just when we're watching a movie just on the side because we get bored. We use our phone to get some quick, fast-paced entertainment while we're watching the movie. Sitting down for a long article or a film has become harder for our brains because our mind craves the quick burst of information that we get on platforms like TikTok, for instance. Those apps are designed for rapid consumption, and because we consume that short format, TikTok is rewiring our brains, and which makes it harder to focus on anything that requires sustained attention.
To relate this text to a current issue in the world, we can take a look at the digitalization of the school system. First of all, Carr mentions that when we read a text online, we are no longer reading in a traditional way, rather we are skimming it. For students, this can thus be a problem, since most of our reading material is located online. And yes, of course, we can buy books, but isn't it just much easier and cheaper to use that one PDF that was sent in a group chat? This results in a lack of active reading and actually understanding a text, especially when combined with the next factor, distractions. Carr says that whenever we come across a link, we take at least a split second to evaluate this and decide whether we want to click it or not. And even though this happens very quickly, it takes our attention away from what we were initially doing. This can form a problem when trying to actively read an article, but also when you're taking notes in class and a notification pops up on your screen. Even though we don't think much about it and we don't click it, our mind has already been distracted and our focus has been lost.